Hello friends, welcome to our channel Steno. Subscribe our channel for more dictations on daily basis. The essential function of the district judiciary as also the function of the high courts and this court is to administer justice impartially and independently. This court in its review order observed. Fourthly, the argument that an uniform would equate the district courts with constitutional courts is erroneous. A uniform multiplier is used for a uniform increment in pay and not for the purpose of uniform pay in itself. All judges across the hierarchy of courts discharge the same essential function of adjudicating disputes impartially and independently. Thus, it would not be appropriate to apply graded IOR when SNJPC has chosen to uniformly apply the multiplier. Together, the courts constitute the unified judicial system performing for the core and essential functions of administering justice. To be truly unified both in form and in substance, there must be integration in terms of pay, pension, and other service conditions between the district judiciary, the high courts, and the Supreme Court. To this end, under Article 125 and 221 of the Constitution, the salaries, etc., payable to the judges of the High Court and the Supreme Court are fixed by law as made by Parliament. The salaries for judges of the High Court are the same across the country by virtue of the High Court Judges' Salaries and Conditions of Service Act 1954. Given that in the hierarchy of the unified judicial system, a judge of the High Court is placed above a district judge, it follows that a district judge cannot have more pay more than a High Court judge. Therefore, the maximum ceiling of pay that a district judge may earn is the salary of a high court judge, which is fixed under the aforementioned statute. Once the salary of the district judge is pegged against the high court judge, it thus follows that any increase in the salary of the judges of the high court must reflect in the same proportion to the judges in the district judiciary. In the review order, this court observed the legitimacy of the principle that the increase of pay of the judicial officers must be commensurate with the quantum of increase in the pay of high court judges has been raised previously and stands judicially settled. Therefore, any objection to the IOR on the ground that it has to be lower than that adopted for increase in the pay of the judges of the High Court is without cogent basis. Having considered the constitutional foundations on the basis of which the recommendations of the SNJPC are to be considered, we will now proceed to examine the recommendations with respect to pay, pension, gratuity, etc. Ultimately, the effect of the acceptance of the recommendations of this court is that necessary amendments must be carried out in service rules of the judicial officers across all jurisdictions. It is thus directed that the high courts and the competent authorities wherever applicable bring the rules in conformity with the recommendations accepted by this court above within a period of 3 months.